my topic is. Raise your hand. Somebody really raised their hand?
Do you know something?
Okay, Kat.
Rude.
Real estate investing.
Yes, Chris Mary, bring that to her. Okay, so yes, my topic is real estate investing. And although I started out with I started out with doing a bunch of like financial planning or just stocks and bonds, I kind of shifted my way into real estate investing after 3 months. And and my original work is to buy a house. Okay, just kidding. No, I'm not actually going to do that. And it's interesting because the class that I was in before, they really encouraged me to do it. They were the people that brought up the idea to buy the house. And then when I brought it in, it was met with a lot of retaliation. So actually, I'm going to be doing is following my mentor in the things that he's doing, his current projects. He's building 6 properties on these 6 plots of lands, and he's tearing down the property and rebuilding it. I'll also be looking into 26 of his 26 houses. I'm going to do reports on every single one of them, look at their histories, the money that he spent on them, like on the repairs, and I'll talk to his accountants, he has 3 of them, and his realtor, which I did interview. And funny story about his realtor, his name's Wayne Warshawski. When I was interviewing him, he looked me in the eye and says, "I hate people like you." And I was a little taken back, but he was joking, you know, he didn't mean Asians, he meant real estate investors, because what we do is we're active investors. We look at properties and we tell him which properties we want to buy, and it's his job to go out at 12 o'clock at night to the tenant in Irving calling saying that they have a plumbing problem, while I can be able to sleep in my bed real comfortably. So thank God for realtors. And the information that I'm going to get, I'm going to compile that and put it in sort of a book or a report. And if this report is public, then I'll have to make the numbers a bit more imaginary, and if it's a private thing, then I can use the actual numbers, because he does have sensitive information like salaries and tax returns, things like that. So SMART goals, you guys know what that is, right? SMART goals, I'm sure Ethan has come in and presented it. My goal for the future is to become an architect by day and a real estate investor at night. Although people think that I look like a businessman, I'm out there dealing with people on deals, I actually really hate people. So I won't be doing that. However, I like to teach. I really like to teach people the things that I'm passionate about and things that I like. And so I see myself like on stage and presenting my knowledge to beginners or people who want to learn real estate investing. I went to this place, they're called Lifestyles Unlimited. I attended a workshop, and I was probably sitting right over here, and then you have all these successful people just sharing their knowledge, and I looked at there and I was like, that's what I want to do. And just sharing the experience of 10, 15 years of my real estate investing experience, probably when I'm like 35 or 40. And I'm also gonna do flipping houses. Since I'm gonna be an architect, I can buy up old rundown houses, redo the entire exterior and interior, and sell it for probably 3 times the price that I bought the property. And I think reflections are probably the most important part of this presentation. I made these into universal, so this doesn't just apply to me or real estate investing, this applies to everybody. Most people in the save and spend, you know, the middle class, we think that we need to spend first and then save. and that's really not how it goes. When I was talking to my mentor, he's a loan officer, and he assesses people and how they spend their money. And this guy walks in, he makes $40,000 a year, and he's like, why can't I have any, where's my money gone? And then he's like, dude, you just spent 15% of your income on electronics. And he's like, no, I didn't. And he's like, okay, look, you bought a 4K TV, you have an iPhone 6, you just bought a brand new stereo, that's $10,000 right there. Yeah, so, you know, we don't really need these things. I mean, we didn't come to this world to drive SUVs. I mean, we all know that by now. So, there's a book that my mentor, he encouraged me to read. It's called The Millionaire Next Door. And of course, you know, we always see people flaunting their money, driving the Ferraris on the road, and partying it up in nightclubs every single night. But that's only 1% of all the millionaires. An average millionaire, he drives a used Lexus and lives in a $200,000 house. So that was something interesting because I was able to talk to a few millionaires myself, and they weren't very flamboyant, and they were very frugal. So my goal is to have money and use it as a tool rather than something that I spend it on luxuries. And traveling is one of the best ways of gaining more knowledge about the world and getting more experience. And our society really vilifies failure. There's this quote, it says that the master has failed more than the beginner has even tried. So failure is an opportunity to learn, and sometimes you would actually want to choose failure over success because that's just so much experience and information can come out of that. And there's this quote that I stumbled upon a few months ago from Andy Warhol, and it says that sometimes people let the same problems make them miserable for years when they could just say, so what? And this applies to sometimes your school or your family. I mean, I had really trouble with my dad, and then I would always think of him as like a bad person, but you know, just drop it. And of course, I'm in this class because I dropped calculus, thank God. So, you know, you're brought up to believe that you have to be in AP classes and everything, and then you like work hard and get yourself really miserable, and then you're like, oh wait, I can just drop it and everything's fine. So that's it. Great thing. And this is a really big concept, and I think everybody should follow this. So you have to be the person that is deserving to have what it is that you want. Most of us, we want things. We want to have the things and then be the person that's deserving to have the things, then do the things that that person would do if he had the things. But that isn't how it works. You have to be the person, then you have to do what the person would do, and then you can then have what you want. And here's the example that I pulled is that this my friend, she's like, I want to have a brand new wardrobe and everything. I'm like, okay, great. So what are you doing that can get you that brand new wardrobe? And she's like, oh, I want to go into marketing and then get all this money so I can buy all these designer clothes. And I'm like, okay. So I go to her room, I go to her house and I go to her room, and then her closet's open, okay? And then in there, you have wire hangers, plastic hangers, all bent up hangers, and clothes balled up on the floor. And I'm like, so you want an entire closet full of designer clothes? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, do you think a rack of Saks Fifth Avenue designer clothes can go in there? And she's like, and I'm like, no. So then this other girl, she's like, I want a new BMW. And I look at her car, and in the trunk, there's that much of trash, this layer of trash in her trunk, and then you can't even get in the back seat because there's just so much trash in there. I'm like, no, you have to be the person or do the things that person would do. You would keep your car clean, you would treat it well, and then you can then pull in the things that you want. And then my last thing is prepare. This isn't part of the rubric, but I feel like I pulled this in because it really helped me. It is that we must be willing to let go of the life that we planned so that we can have the life waiting for us. We're always wanting perfect things, the perfect relationship, the perfect family, but then we have this all planned out, but it never works. So you have to let go of these things that you have expected. And this other quote from Carolyn Myss: people suffer when they pursue a life or chase a dream that doesn't belong to them. So much of our suffering comes from chasing a life that doesn't belong to us. I mean, when I read that, I was thinking about the times when I wanted to be that star football player. Of course, I can't be that. And then, like, have, like, the cheerleader as the girlfriend, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, that's not me. And it's always made me miserable because I look at, like, people with a lot of money, and, like, they flaunt their money like Miley Cyrus. And then I'm like, okay, so I can't be that. So, yeah, I accept it. And maybe just, you'll feel that void because you kind of just strip everything that you wanted yourself to be. But like, if you can just sit in that space and just like let go of it, I mean, it feels great. Thank you.